what it is, what it was, and what it shall be. We're back again. Today's video number 56. Today's video is called Mastery of the Earth Element. So, I'm trying to do the best job I can with these videos. I'm trying to do two seemingly contradictory things. Number one is to provide access to the tools of magic to everyone. But number two is to also show that to really be masterful with the use of these energies and this knowledge, it requires total self-mastery. You know, it's something that it's an ability that we all naturally possess. But in order to achieve remarkable results that other people, that aren't merely just subjective results that other people can see, it's complete. It's a lifelong thing. And you know, arguably, I'm one of these people that believes in multi-lifetimes. But so yeah, multi-lifetimes it can take to get into this. And I think different people, and probably if you're watching this video, you've had some experience with this topic in other lives or whatever, because otherwise most people are so grounded into materialism they can't even process this kind of information. And that's what my teachers have always told me. They say, like, the fact that you're even encountering this teaching is proof that you have some aptitude and that you've already put energy into these topics in past lives. But anyway, so now what I wanted to address was how a lot of these videos I'm talking about materialism, which, yeah, I do think it is the most serious plague on our society, and it's what makes people unhappy because it's unrealistic. Now, when I say that, I'm not negating materiality. I'm not saying that there's no value to it at all. I'm not saying, in fact, it's the foundation and the basis for everything else. And it's the most stable, and we live in the material world. So what I'm saying, however, is that you need to master that, not to be a slave to materiality, not to be enslaved by that and obsessed with that and constantly expending all your energy in this unbalanced way for something that you're not even going to have success with, because the idea of materialism itself is delusional, and nothing that's built on it will be sound and won't function, and it won't give you the result that you want. So, what is mastery? What does that mean? I mean, you know, everyone knows, mostly when you think of the word master, you think of slave, right? Master slave. In a way, though, it means greatness, and it comes from the word for greatness, majesty, right? So what does that mean? Mastery means whatever it is that you're doing, whatever task you're performing, whatever skill you're exercising, that you aren't just doing it in a haphazard way. You're doing it in such a way that shows that you've practiced and tried and failed a million times enough to know exactly how things are to be done, to do them in a masterful way that's approaching perfection, and that is high and above what common people do on the first try. That's what I mean by mastery. So how do you master the material element? Well, first, it's implied with what I just said. Are you a slave to your materiality? Or what fraction of your thoughts are geared towards materiality? What is your value structure? Like, where does materiality fall into your value structure? Now, for me, matter is a servant. Your body is a servant. It's here to perform a function, you know? The analogy that I thought of when I was trying to kind of brainstorm for this video was the feet, right? Think about your feet. You know, most people neglect their feet. They don't take care of them. And that's what I mean by mastery. Like, these material elements, our body and so on, it needs to be taken care of. It needs to be purified. It needs to be refined. But in doing so, it's not worshiping that thing. It's not practicing idolatry or like idolizing this material thing, like that thing is the source of your happiness or skill or whatever. It's a tool. Like I was saying yesterday with the football field analogy, it's like, yeah, you need a football field to play football on. If you try to play in a freeway, it's not going to be fun. Or if you try to play on some rocky crag that's all sharp edges, that's not going to work good either. There's certain qualities that it has that make it suitable for what its use is. But yet, if you were to look at that field as the totality of the experience of a sport or a game, it's boring. You're just looking at some AstroTurf or something. It doesn't do anything by itself. It's just a locality. It's just a place. And the same applies to the body. So to achieve the full function of our physical body requires total mastery. So it's kind of like a give and take, right? Like our body tells us what it needs and wants through pain and desire and pleasure. It's telling us information, and it's expressing its viewpoint, and it's expressing its desires and like needs or whatever it likes and doesn't like, right? But just think about little kids. Like little kids always want candy. They always want to play. And it's not like you should tell them you can't play or you can't have candy. It's like you have to have it in proportion. And the kids have not, psychologically and physically, their bodies and their senses and their brain hasn't matured enough to understand proper proportion. So this is why we train the body. This is why we master the body. So in all these esoteric schools and mystery schools and so on, they tend to take the initiates through the graduated phases and grades. And the material grade is the first grade. It's the most basic grade. And there's all kinds of stuff that you can get into at that level. Asanas, training the body, disciplining the body, sitting perfectly still, not allowing the body's complaints to detract your mind away from what it's supposed to be on, what your intent and what your will tells it to do. You got to command the body. It's not that you don't listen to it. It's not that you ignore pain. It's that you put that pain in perspective. You're like, okay, like say you're fasting, right? If you start fasting, your body's going to give you complaints, and it's going to come out with all this emotional energy and everything, trying to convince you to eat food. But your brain has to override that to get into purification and to purge your body and to restore your immune system and to do all these things that people have known for thousands of years are benefits of fasting. But the primary benefit is demonstrating and proving mastery of the mind over the body and saying, okay, body, I know you don't like to fast, but I'm telling you it's possible, it's okay, you're gonna survive, and there's a purpose, so do it. And it's really that simple. So you tell the body what to do. It's your servant, it's not your master, okay? And just like I was giving that analogy of the feet, like you got to take care of your feet. You don't want to get corns and bunions and foot fungus and all this shit. You got to take care of your feet. And your feet are doing all kinds of work. They're holding the weight of your entire body. They're moving you around. They're doing everything. So you have to give them what they need and give them their due. But most of us in this analogy, in the materialism that we live in, it's as if you're sitting on a chair, reclining and elevating your feet up. And the feet is the highest part of you. And your materialism consumes all your energy and your value and how you think, oh, am I beautiful? Am I desirable? It's like this and that. That's just your body. That's just your feet, man. It's not. So imagine you're sitting on this chair and you're getting a manicure or pedicure and you're polishing up your feet and doing all this and rubbing oil and spreading golden flakes and just giving your feet the total treatment as if the feet are the god, and all your mind and all your faculties and your intelligence and your attention is all going to trying to give the feet what they want and making your feet all foo-foo and painting your toenails and doing this and that. Meanwhile, your muscles of all the whole rest of your body is atrophying, your brain's atrophying, your psychology and all your spiritual faculties are withering away because you're spending all your fucking time on your feet. And you're not moving around, you're not walking anywhere, because that would hurt the feet and that would make the feet feel sad. And you're giving the feet as if they're the god of your society. And you're avoiding all regular, normal human activities and health and fitness and movement and travel because that would inconvenience your feet. Like this is literally how our whole society is completely upside down. It's like a pyramid balanced on the point. It's like it's not stable. It's totally delusional. And again, you could use the same analogy because basically like the 1%ers or 0.1%ers even, they don't do shit. The feet is doing all the work. The feet is paying all the taxes. The feet are protecting these fucking diplomats. The feet are putting their lives on the line and suffering and slaving, giving away all their spirituality and all their time and all their energy and all their human faculties and creative power and wisdom and intellect. They're giving it all away for these 1%ers that do nothing, that literally do nothing. That's how our society is. It's a complete inversion of everything. So the point is to say, what is material mastery and how is it distinct from materialism? And it's balance. Like I was saying, there's 4 elements. There's 4 souls. And people do not listen to my videos. I can tell that by the reactions that I get. They're not really listening to it at all. Or they listen to 1 minute. Or even people I've had comment on a video and ask me a question to explain something that's in that exact video that they're commenting on. I try not to be exasperated by that, but it's frustrating because I feel like there might not be much purpose to making these, but I'm going to continue making them because it helps me and it improves my life. And maybe 1% or 0.1% of the people that watch this will actually do something about it and they'll actually use what I'm saying. But let's get back into it. So assuming that a person wants to truly be a wizard and a master, you have to master the material element. And when you get into these mystery schools where they teach you, like I said, they teach you physical disciplines, yoga, how to train the body, how to master and discipline the body to do your will, to overcome its resistance, and to also give you confidence that you're capable of all these things. Like, it's an amazing feeling when you complete a 7-day fast or something like that. It feels great all the way through to me after that initial emotional phase that you got to kind of break through. But if you master the material element, you're going to feel strong. You're going to feel powerful. You're going to feel that the material world is actually at your command. That you don't have to sit and worry and have anxiety about food and shelter and minerals and all these things, like, because it's all right there and you command it. You're the master of it. Okay? But you also have to understand how it all works. Like, a lot of this new age bullshit that's dominating the fucking globe and everything on the social media is so much new age bullshit. Like, I sit there and it's so frustrating to me because they're basically neglecting common sense, rationality, wisdom, thinking, effort, and it's all this airy fairy unicorn rainbow bullshit. And I know a million people, like I could list at least 100 people I know that are living in this world, and they're completely the least spiritual people. They're the most materialistic, fakest, most superficial, dumbest. They're worse than the materialists because at least the materialists are practical. They have a plan. They do steps. They what they do makes sense. It's pragmatic. And these spiritual people, they call themselves that, or they have these pages and they put up and repost and regurgitate everybody else's memes that don't make sense, that they don't even understand. And it's just another fad. It's just another consumerist fad that they go through. And that's going to get you nowhere. And it's going to take you in reverse, actually. You're going backwards that way because now you think you're spiritual. And it's the opposite. You're dumber than ever. You're getting way dumber. And that's sad. So my point is, to be really spiritual, you have to be really intellectual. You have to be really smart. You have to be really physically sound and strong. You have to understand how your body works. You have to understand how matter itself works. This is why people study alchemy, and they work with the elements. They work with metals. They work with crystals. They work with salts, and they work with all these different compounds, acids and bases, and dyes and everything like that. Is to understand how matter works and how to master matter, how to get the results that you want with matter by understanding its function and how it works. So that's mastery. That's how you master the material element. That's how you draw wealth to yourself. That's how you make your body physically strong. That's how you have mental endurance and focus, persistence, and steadfastness of purpose. That's all one key to the spiritual process of growth and to wizarding and mastery, is this material element, to recognize how it works, to differentiate between all the different types of energy that flows through matter, to understand its value and its purpose, and to make sure that it's integrated and balanced with all the aspects of your personal development so that you can achieve true mastery. And once you integrate, then you can get this spiritual flow of transcendent awareness. Now you know what a soul is. Now you know what the purpose of human life is, but material mastery is just step one. It's not the end.